In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at downloading apps from the App Store. You'd use this little icon over here. We'll also talk about this annoying little number in red in the corner. And once we get those apps, we'll talk about how to adjust the settings of those apps. So if we go to the App Store, there's various different options that you have in the App Store to look at featured apps that they offer, they suggest. You can look at charts that show you the top paid and free apps, and you can select different categories. You can also search for a specific app if you know what you're looking for in the top right corner. In this case, I'm just going to find one for back to school, and I'm going to take a look at first, if you have an app and it needs to be updated, maybe there's some changes or bug fixes. When you click on it, it'll say update instead of download. And that means you already have that app, but it has some updates. If you select a new one, it'll show that free button, depending on its cost, and you will click it there. Then you would put in your Apple ID password to start downloading that app. As you can see, the app then begins downloading. A little status bar filling up in blue there. And that app will then slowly be added to your next available spot on your screen. When finished, it'll just give you that option to open. The button changes to open, or you can just go back to your home screen and you'll see the new app there. If you've never opened an app, it'll have the little blue new ribbon on it. Now you can check that app out, check to make sure it works. This little calculator one that takes script input and calculates it for you. Very convenient. Now if I ever wanted to change the settings of this app, I would go to the settings. I wouldn't go to the app itself, but we'll talk about that later. First, let's take a look at updating apps. I can see that red 9 in the corner of the App Store. It tells me that there are 9 apps that I currently have downloaded that need updating. If I open the App Store again, it brings me back to where it was, and down in the bottom right, you can see the option for updates. So I'll select the updates. And this will bring up all 9 of those apps that it says need updating. Well, they don't need updating, but they suggest updating. Some of the descriptions of the things tell you, how useful it is. Some of them are more needed than others. For instance, you can see this one. The update just allows it to be used on an iPhone 5. If this isn't an iPhone 5, there's no reason to update that. So you kind of pick and choose if you want every month or so. Select ones that look like they are significant updates. In that case, you just push that update button and it would reinstall that reader with the new updates. Much in the same way when you downloaded the app. Now that I updated those two, you can see that the numbers changed to a 7, so it does update, but you can drive yourself mad trying to keep on top of every one of those. Now to adjust the settings of those apps, you go into the settings menu and scroll down on the bottom left side, and you'll see that apps that you've downloaded have settings that you adjust here. So you don't do it in the app specifically, you go to the settings, which adjusts the settings for everything on your iPad. And you'd find it there, and you can make the adjustments. Not all apps have settings that you can change. Some of them will just give you information about what version number this is. But many of them have settings that you can change, and this is where you would do it. The next thing I want to talk about is simple ways to move files to and from your iPad. Probably the easiest way to move a file to your iPad is just to email it to yourself. First, you'll have to have an email account set up. In the settings, if you go down to the mail, contacts, and calendars, you can add an account, whether it's Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, whatever you have, so that you have an account set up email-wise that you could email to. Let me show you, if you're going to use your school email, how to do that. First, I'll search for Monticello High School to get to the web mail login screen. And this will be kind of a shortcut, so you don't have to do this every time. So there's the staff webmail that we use, and that'll bring up our login screen. Now from there, I will select the little arrow out button next to the cloud. And I'll see an option there that says add to home screen, right there. And that is going to put that icon with the little envelope on my home screen. That will basically bring me to this every time, kind of like a little app that brings me to this screen whenever I touch it. And I'll label it school email. Then I'll click add. There it is there. Since I'll use it often, I'm going to touch and hold, make it wiggle, and then move it down to the dock next to my other mail. And that way it's a little bit more readily available. Now if I go and log in to my mail, I can show you how I might send myself something. First thing I want to do is go to my computer screen, and let's say I want to send this payment PDF file to my iPad. The first thing I'll do is go to my internet browser, and I'll send myself a new email and attach that PDF file to it. I'll just find myself. And I'll attach that payment PDF file from the desktop. And then I'll send it. This is probably the simplest way to get a file onto your iPad. Then I'll go back to the iPad screen and I'll hit that school email button. That'll allow me to log in to my school email. And I'll see the message that I just sent myself, and it'll have the PDF file attached. I'll click View. There it is. Then I can tap the Open in Adobe Reader or Open in something else, whatever app I have for reading PDFs. Just a few seconds, and that will then be saved, and I can do whatever I want with it. Since this is Adobe Reader, I can do all kinds of things like write all over it if I want. I can add text, I can do what I want, and then save it. So now you got your PDF or other file on your iPad. What can you do with it? Well, let's go into Adobe Reader, a good app for working with those things. In Adobe Reader, you could take this PDF document and you could add text to it. Maybe you hand it out to the students on an iPad and they electronically put their name in. Then it shows up there. They can move that around. They could look down below and maybe they have to pick one of these options, so they just can freehand and circle one of the choices, and now you want to have them turn it back into you. To save on paper, they could just email that back out, just like you emailed it to yourself. You want to share the original document, put in the teacher's email address, and click send. Now if I go back to my computer, just to show that it shows up as it was edited. I can open up my school email, find that document showed up, view it, and there it is with the name that the student edited and the choice that they made. So students can work on PDF documents and edit them and then email them back to you.